type O positive.
So picture this, we're starting our journey way back on the savannah with the default setting for humanity. Flowing in nearly 4 out of every 10 people on Earth today, type O positive is the ancestral blood of the original hunter-gatherers. I mean, before there were borders, before we even figured out farming, we were survivors, and this was the blood that fueled us. Its real superpower isn't in its rarity, but in its overwhelming utility. It's basically the majority leader in trauma centers. Medically speaking, O positive can be safely transfused into any patient with a positive blood type. The vast majority of the population can receive it, meaning the entire global blood supply chain is literally built around this constant, reliable flow.
But, evolution loves a trade-off. There's a hidden evolutionary price list that comes with this ancient blood. On one side, you've got this incredible neurological armor. Studies consistently show that type O carriers have a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline, like dementia and Alzheimer's. Your blood is literally protecting your mind. But look at the flip side. This ancestral code leaves the stomach highly vulnerable. There's a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori, which causes agonizing stomach ulcers, and it finds it much easier to latch onto the stomach lining of a type O carrier than any other type.
And get this ancient biology impacts how your blood physically moves too. Type O blood has lower levels of key clotting factors. Now, this free-flowing nature is a spectacular advantage against heart-stopping blood clots, completely drastically lowering your risk of heart attacks. But in a severe accident, well, that exact same trait becomes a terrifying liability, making it significantly harder for doctors to stop a hemorrhage.
All right, moving on to Section 2. Builders and Wanderers, types A and B positive.
As humanity shifted from hunting to agriculture and nomadism, our blood literally had to change. We moved from high-protein hunting to settling down and relying on grain-based farming. We started living in dense populations, and naturally, our diseases evolved. This forced our immune systems to adapt incredibly rapidly, creating entirely new blood types just to survive the new infections festering in early civilizations. Enter type A positive. Think of this as the builder's shield. The A antigen evolved to offer a stronger immune response against those new diseases of civilization. But man, it came at a staggering cost. The A antigen is sticky, which makes carriers more prone to blood clots. And even wilder, type A individuals are biologically wired for a high alert status. They naturally produce higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. In the ancient world, that constant fight-or-flight readiness kept you alive. But today, it means the daily anxieties of modern life, the traffic, the deadlines, the endless emails, are felt acutely at a cellular level. It is literally a modern stress burden written in ancient code. On the other hand, found in only about 1 in 10 people, we have type B positive. This is the wanderer's blood. It reaches its highest frequencies along ancient nomadic migration routes, like the high plains of Central Asia and the Middle East. This is the bloodline that adapted to thrive in the harshest, most constantly changing environments on Earth. All that constant movement forged a totally unique, highly tuned, specialist immune system for type B. It boasts powerful resistance against some truly vicious historical bacteria. But specialization has a blind spot. This immune system can be overreactive, making type B prone to long-term inflammatory and autoimmune conditions. Plus, their metabolism is built for a pastoral diet, think meat and fermented dairy. Because of that, this ancient engine really struggles with the high-sugar, highly processed foods of our modern world.
Which brings us to Section 3, the modern paradox, type AB positive.
So, what exactly happens when you mix the builder's blood with the wanderer's blood in a relatively recent historical blend? Well, you get a biological mystery and a genuine medical superpower. Type AB positive is the newest and most complex of the positive types. Because its cells carry both A and B antigens, its immune system recognizes all other blood types as friendly. In a catastrophic emergency, they are the universal recipient. They can safely receive blood from absolutely anyone. It's the ultimate biological welcome mat. But here's the catch. That modern complexity doesn't just apply to transfusions, it applies to everyday life. Because the immune system is so incredibly tolerant, the gates are left unguarded against certain infections, like E. coli and Salmonella. And even more surprisingly, large-scale studies show type AB individuals face a steep, silent price, a significantly higher risk of developing cognitive impairment and memory loss later in life compared to every other blood type out there. Let's shift gears for Section 4, the universal savior, type O negative. We're leaving the positive types behind now to explore the incredibly perilous, high-stakes medical reality of the rare negative blood types. Less than 7% of the global population has O-negative blood. Its real power isn't in what it has, but in what it completely lacks. O-negative cells are total blank slates, totally devoid of A, B, and the crucial Rh antigens. They are, for all intents and purposes, biologically anonymous. And that anonymity makes O-negative the universal donor. I mean, it is liquid gold in an emergency room. It's the very first blood surgeons call for when there's zero time to check a dying patient's blood type. Yet this incredible gift exposes the carrier to massive personal risk. If they ever need blood themselves, they can only receive it from their own tiny 7% group. On top of that, they face severe reproductive vulnerabilities, as an O-negative mother's immune system can actually attack her own baby if the child happens to carry an Rh-positive blood type.
Now on to Section 5, Scarce and Invisible, Types A and B negative.
If O-negative is rare, carrying a negative marker alongside the A or B antigen is like walking a frightening medical tightrope. We are entering the realm of the truly scarce here. A-negative sits at a tiny 2%, and B-negative, it's almost completely invisible at just 1% of the global population. Shockingly scarce. If a person with B-negative blood is in a major accident, turning to the donor pool is a desperate race against time to find a compatible match that is virtually non-existing. Now, both of these invisible types do carry the awesome evolutionary strengths of their positive counterparts, the builder's immune shield or the wanderer's bacterial resistance. But honestly, all of that is completely overshadowed by a tragic reality. Just like with O-negative, the genetic lottery dictates that an A-negative or B-negative mother's immune system could treat her own Rh-positive baby as a foreign invader, turning a pregnancy into a literal biological battleground without modern medical intervention.
And finally, Section 6, the statistical ghost, type AB negative.
We have reached the absolute edge of human variation, a biological identity that almost shouldn't even exist. Found in less than 0.5% of the globe, having AB negative blood means you are quite literally a statistical ghost. To put this mind-boggling rarity into perspective, you are 80 times less likely to exist than an O positive carrier. Their red blood cells are an exclusive fortress. They can only accept blood from the negative donor pool.
And honestly, this perfectly illustrates the ultimate paradox of human blood. The rarest person on Earth, whose red blood cells are practically locked away from the rest of humanity, has plasma, the liquid carrying those cells, that is completely devoid of aggressive antibodies. That makes him the universal plasma donor. The single most exclusive blood type holds the universally safe plasma needed to save absolutely everyone else. Mind-blowing, right? So, as we wrap this up, remember that your blood is so much more than just a medical file. Knowing what your ancestors survived to get you here and the incredible evolutionary trade-offs you carry inside your cells every single day, I really have to ask, which unbroken chain of survival are you a part of? Which chapter of human history is flowing in your veins right now? Take a moment to really think about that, because the diary of humanity is beating right inside your chest. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.